Hello and welcome to Market. Today I'm Siddharth Zarabi and you're watching our live coverage of the markets this day when the United States has voted and President Donald Trump is making a comeback and broader markets reflecting that. Let's bring up the broader markets on the screen, the Nifty for you to take a look at. A sea of green really on the markets today that we can see. The Nifty up, the IT pack up, the Pharma cap up, everything really responding very, very positively to expected significant set of changes that will happen in the world's largest consumption economy. And the Nifty Pharma pack right up there on the screen, and joining us now to talk about their most recent performance, financial performance, is M.V. Ramana, the CEO of India and Emerging Markets at Dr. Reddy's. Welcome to the show, Mr. Ramana. Before I get into some of the discussions around your quarterly performance, I just wanted a broad comment from you on account of what we are seeing in the markets. The Pharma pack, all stocks up in the green, reflecting optimism, possibly on account of the United States result. Is this good news for the pharma sector on a broad basis, Mr. Ramana, the election results in the United States?
Indian pharma has a significant market share in the US, and not only the manufacturers from India, manufacturing from India too has a significant market share. So I think what I'm seeing now, obviously on the Sensex, as you showed to me, the Nifty, the pharma stocks is trading favorably. So hope for the best.
Absolutely, and that hope for the best seems to be the mood in the markets today. Let's come to the specific results that we are discussing. A solid 16.5% increase in revenue, but a bit of a miss on profit expectations. What was that on account of? Largely because of the acquisition costs. Take our viewers through the key numbers.
Sure. So in terms of the growth, again, Siddharth, as you rightly said, this is backed by an all-round performance. There's a double-digit performance in the US, double-digit performance in India, double-digit performance in emerging markets as well as PSCI, except in Europe where we are a high single digit of 9%. So overall, the growth is good across all of the markets. When it comes to EBITDA, again, as you would know, we have been aspiring to maintain about 25% EBITDA. We've done about 28. When it comes to PAT, this is basically because of one-offs that we have had this time. It is about the nicotinell acquisition that we have done. It is also because of the change in the law as far as the land indexation is concerned. And also in terms of the minority stake that we had to give to Nestle in our joint venture. So as an account of all these three one-offs, you see that the PAT has come down. But however, if you look into the underlying PAT as well as EBITDA, they're both very healthy.
What's the outlook on for profitability given the fact that this is a one-off acquisition cost? What's the outlook that you can share with our viewers?
So if you see in terms of the growth, both in terms of India and emerging markets, we have enough growth levers in terms of both driving our existing businesses, but we've also in the last 2 years, specifically for India and subsequently into emerging markets, working on the innovation agenda on 3 pillars. One is getting access to innovative assets so that we are able to offer a more meaningful portfolio for the disease areas that we are present in. The second is, of course, consumer health. Reflection of that was Nestle that we recently did the joint venture with, and the third is the digital therapeutics that we are present in India. So if you combine the base business with innovation, we have a good run for India, and it's reflected in the performance. Emerging markets too, apart from the fact that we today have a good base of about 45 markets where we're present across the continents. We're able to also leverage the portfolio that we develop for US and Europe. That's also helping in terms of the launches across the emerging markets, what we've done in the last quarter and what we expect to do going forward. As far as US business is concerned, the generic Revlimid continues to be meaningful for us. While we do this, we continue to look forward for the launches in the US to drive the base business growth. So overall, we are working on all the growth levers to deliver a double-digit performance.
Since you spoke about the US, that market being your largest market share, what about pricing pressures? What do you expect to happen in the near future, given the competitive landscape that we are likely to see changing very soon?
So if you see the pricing impact that we had last quarter, we had a single-digit pricing impact. Now, normally when it comes to pricing impact, we can't time it because sometimes it could be a few molecules or a few products that get impacted because of competition coming in. But if you take generics as a market and you take whether it is US and Europe, I think the pricing pressures would continue. So as an organization, how are we poised in terms of the new product launches, the way in which we are driving the operational efficiencies will actually show up in terms of how the growth will reflect. So we are confident that based on the levers that we are working on, a single-digit growth in the US is what we aspire to go after.
Okay. I come back to the acquisition and the cost that we saw in terms of the one-time charges. Two aspects to this. Are there any further anticipated cost impacts in the upcoming quarters? And then if you could sort of expand on how do you see nicotinell contributing to the bottom line, and what are the internal targets that you have set?
Sure. So if you see consumer health as one of the pillars that Dr. Reddy's is building on, we started the consumer health journey in Russia and the CIS maybe about 15 years back and built a pretty decent business in Russia and CIS. And now with the acquisition of nicotinell, which has got a good base both in Europe and in emerging markets, and with our joint venture that we have with Nestle, today we are a 600 million consumer health company, and aspiration is by the time we go to 2030, we should be able to grow that to $1 billion. And as you know, that consumer health business is pretty sticky. So again, when it comes to nicotinell, we feel that given the fact that we have been able to acquire the opportunity at a good multiple, and the fact that there's opportunity for us to grow the brand because of the support that we would obviously provide to it, and the ability to take the product into more number of markets than where today you get the sales from, we do feel confident that we will continue the growth of nicotinell. So consumer health is an important lever. While we were on this journey largely on an organic part, I think with the inorganic opportunity, we should be able to fast track and to be and consumer health to meaningfully contribute to Dr. Reddy's revenues.
In India, you saw the close to 18% increase as far as revenues are concerned. What was behind this growth, and what can you share with us in terms of any new initiatives for the Indian market? And I also want to quickly slip in, is there a market for significant market opportunity for nicotinell within India?
So let me start off with India. India continues to be our most important market. And as you would see that the pharma market in general in India is now in high single digit. And our aspiration in India to get into the top 5 continues. So obviously that would mean that we would need to grow much better than what is the market growth. So having seen that the signs of how the penetration of the volume growth is kind of slowing down in India, we have added 3 levers to the India business in terms of growth. One is getting access to innovative assets. We have seen good traction over there. A couple of products launched. Another important product is expected to be launched in this month. As a consequence of that, you also have started to see the results that we gave of our CAR-T BCMA, where we're expected to be the first company to bring that innovation into the market that can significantly improve the outcomes and make it more affordable So what we do see, Siddharth, is a lot of innovations today that are available in US and Europe are not available in India and emerging markets. And we feel that given our equity today and our endowment, both in India and outside of India, we stand a chance to bring some of these relevant innovations to India. The second lever, of course, is consumer health and Nestle Health Sciences, which is a company known very well internationally for the quality of and the kind of brands that they have. We're very happy and privileged that they decided to partner with us, and we expect to bring in more of their innovations into India. And the third element is to bring in innovation in the form of digital therapeutics. We launched a product for migraine called Nerivio. We're seeing good traction on that. So as we obviously will build our waterfall between where we are today and what we expect to be in terms of our aspiration to get into top five, I would say that base business growth and innovation should contribute meaningfully for that journey.
Given what happened to operating margins, I want to ask you, are there any specific cost control measures that you are implementing? Separately, I noticed that sales and marketing expenditure has been down on a quarter-on-quarter basis. What's the strategy there?
Sure, absolutely. And I think this is something which it's been an ongoing effort, whether it is on the cost of goods, whether it is an improvement in throughput, whether it is improvement in sales and marketing. We are obviously going after this in a very systematic manner. So if I have to just contextualize it, the way in which we work on the sales and marketing productivity is to constantly look at what should be the process excellence and through a center of excellence to drive those processes into the markets and the adoption of which should start showing up in terms of the productivity growth, both the profits growing better than the top line. So this is I would say, an effort across the entire value chain, whether it is in productivity in R&D, productivity on the side of technical operations, as well as sales and marketing. So this is something that we take it seriously, and we will continue to pursue it as we get into the next several years as well.
Okay, I want to come back to the broader macro context, because this is that day, and viewers, I'm reminded of 2016 when we had both the US election result and the day after demonetization to digest. We saw what happened in 2020, and today's day is also unique in that sense. And since I have you with us, Mr. Ramana, I want to ask you, there's been a time of volatility globally, specifically from a currency point of view and inflationary pressures. Although some of the commentary from the US now suggests that there is likely to be deflation. But for your company as a strategy, is there anything that you can share with our viewers with regard to how you are managing Forex risk and the possibility of any other continuing macroeconomic challenge?
So I think as a pharma company, we are obviously focused to get our products across all the markets, and we're kind of well positioned in terms of our exposure to US, European currencies, as well as emerging markets currencies, largely in Russia through the ruble. A lot of our efforts, especially with ruble, has been in terms of how do we hedge and reduce the risk. And overall, I think the Treasury is doing a good job in terms of the overall exposure that we have to various currencies and how might we actually help in managing the risk across the market. So I think if you are today in the business of emerging markets, volatility is something that you would have to live with. But when it comes to persistence and perseverance, and to have the ability to kind of, manage the risk across the markets, that's the way that one should expect to do. But at least what our experience so far has been that should you continue to be having the patience and the perseverance in these markets, especially at the time of volatility, you actually gain in the long run. So based on our previous experience, we continue to do that, continue to ensure availability, finding the better routes, ensure the maximum amount of effort is being put to make the products available across all of the markets. We'll continue to do that, and hopefully it should start showing up in the market shares.
Okay. One very final question, and you did allude to that by briefly mentioning a new launch. I just want to, for the sake of our viewers, what can you share with us with regard to upcoming launches?
So if you see, as far as a new product, this is a critical growth lever for us. And I would say that today we're looking into launches both in terms of India and emerging markets. And we did have in the previous quarter a set of healthy launches, almost 22 of them in emerging markets, India, Nestle launches, new product launches and launches in US and Europe. I think this will continue in terms of how we will bring in new products across all of the markets. Either it is in the form of a leverage or it is dedicated products or products from our partners, which should help us in terms of how we grow each of these markets.
All right, Mr. Ramana, thank you very much for your time with us today, viewers. That was MV Ramana, the CEO of India and Emerging Markets at Dr. Reddy's. That stock up in a broader market rally that seems to have shrugged off the recent correction and is riding the Trump wave that we have seen in the US. We'll slip into a short break and come back with more news and programming on the other side. Do stay tuned into Business Today Television.
Will he or won't he accept America's decision if it does not go in his favor? That's the big question citizens, analysts and poll watchers are asking. In his last speech for support in Pennsylvania, Trump reiterated his election fraud charge.
They are fighting so hard to steal this damn thing. Look at what's going on. Look at what's going on in your state. Every day, they're talking about extending hours and stuff. Who ever heard of this stuff? We should have one-day voting and paper ballots.
Recently, a viral video showed a Kentucky voter claiming he could not select Donald Trump on a voting machine. The video showed that the machine did not indicate the voter's selection and eventually selected Vice President Kamala Harris. The Kentucky Attorney General's office did confirm the glitch, saying it was a voter error that is easily preventable and did not impact the voter's final ballot. But the video did raise concerns about the integrity of elections.